Here we go. Roger, we're talking about sponsorships for pinball. Where do you see that going, and where can it possibly go?
Well, I think that, as we kind of talked while you were kind of changing over cameras, at one point in time, Ken Lunsford won Super Shooter, drove away with a Datsun 280Z. Not an insignificant prize, along with a pinball machine, along with a Pioneer Electronics package and some other stuff. I think that, ideally, you'd like to get some underwriting. I think it'll help. Darts has it. There are other activities that have it, obviously, professional sport-wise and whatever. I think it's really just a question of getting that greater exposure. The current issue of ESPN magazine has it's a fantastic feature on Robert Gagnon. That's the exposure that we need. Last year at Pinball Expo, the piece that Vice did, HBO. I know that Josh, Zach, and I just did an interview for CBS Sunday Morning, their news show, and whenever it'll air will be whenever it airs. But I think the more that pinball, whether it is in quotes personality-based, event-based, or just pinball holistically, the more that gets out into the mainstream media, I think the better opportunities there are for some companies where it just seems to be a natural fit. Who doesn't have a cell phone?
Right.
Okay, let's give away a phone package.
Right.
Who doesn't drive a car? Now, alcohol, tobacco, and other things, no.
No.
But, why can't it be like a Mountain Dew?
Right.
That sponsors
shoes,
competitions and whatever
clothing,
else. Exactly.
Anything that's brandable.
So when you have a marketplace of players and you have captured a certain demographic, then it's really a question of doing the outreach and going to potential sponsors to say, hi, we are going to have the national championships. Would you like it to be the Coca-Cola IFPA National Championships? And I know we've done some things with Gridiron Greats and others, so I think it's going to come. I think the momentum will start being there. I think that Zachary had a few corporate sponsors that had backed him a number of years ago, who just reached out because they had heard about him. So I think that when that happens, we're going to have some unique opportunities to really kind of bring pinball much more into the limelight. And ideally, the dominoes will fall from what we were talking about before, of having more games out in active operation, which obviously helps the manufacturers to place more games and have more people be exposed to them. And all of those things become a cycle. It's what I wound up, creating, if you will, when I started at Williams back in '88. My desire back then was I didn't want there to not be anything about pinball, either in a newspaper, in a magazine, TV, radio. It had to be there constantly. And you'd find new tricks and new ways to elicit somebody's attention and interest and curiosity to make it newsworthy. So I'm hopeful. Yeah, we'll see.
So you're bullish because it's already happening on the microcosm levels. Like in Jacksonville, I'm sponsored by everything from a powder coating place, which makes sense because, hey, everybody has rusty pinball legs,
right?
And they sandblast it and they powder coat it, and you don't want to go, gaudy, be do complementary colors into movie theaters and locations I have that will. It's you're sponsoring a product you already have that you don't have an ETA when you're selling it in the first place.
Right. Well, take a look.
And you're putting your name on.
Look what Charlie's done with Domino's.
Right.
So I mean, those are great things. And what was it, Pabst beer? I think.
Right.
Is the beer where they've redone Monelli?
Yes.
So I mean, hopefully those kinds of things will start to really kind of take off. So we'll see how it goes.
And who better to negotiate some type of license deals for like branded pinball machines, right?
You never know.
I mean, never know. Have you had anything in the works or tried to negotiate anything?
I mentioned we were off camera. for what we had done with Papa early on. I mean, we had Subway sandwiches, and Subway was a sponsor. We had Ben and Jerry's ice cream back then when they were just breaking in. I know with Frank Staninsky's help, and who's an operator and a very well-known person within the coin-operated amusement game industry, Frank had arranged something for a trip. We gave away a flight to somewhere to the championship of Papa. So I think that those kinds of things absolutely do exist. Am I doing anything now currently? No. No, not on behalf of anybody yet.
But if someone said, "Hey, can you help us negotiate this deal,
sure.
the right deal?" Because
I would
negotiating takes.
I would
it's a
gladly
knack.
deal with that. Yep.
Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to tell pinball players or
just to continue playing pinball, support it, and have some fun?
Thank you very much.